1.5 years. It passed like this only.
Yes, sir. Very unfortunate to have this
Everybody is
COVID.
trapped at their own houses and places.
Yes, sir.
The institute is open.
Yes, sir. Institute is open and we are
Fine.
working from morning 8 to 12, sir. Because
8 to 12.
after 12, yeah, after 12 we have a curfew here. So we are
Okay.
working from 8 to 12 actually.
Fine. So for just a information, I think the students are not here. No? Only faculties are there.
Only faculty
Yeah.
members,
Yeah.
sir. There is no
Yeah.
students.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that we have some professors and principals too in the
Oh.
participant list.
Okay. Nice.
Happy actually, sir,
So
for
they
that.
join.
Uh, yes, sir. People are joining. Let me check once.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So good morning to all. 9 a.m. is too early for everybody to join, right? I
Sir,
think the whole week the presentation has started from 9 a.m. only.
yes, sir. Whole week
Okay.
presentation was started from 9 a.m.
Fine.
Yeah, people are posting messages to you,
Yeah.
sir. You
Yeah.
can access in chat box.
Actually, 10:30 or 11 onwards, I am having another meeting in ministry.
Oh, okay. We'll start, sir. We'll start. Can
Yeah.
you stop sharing, sir, for a while?
Sure.
Sunil, can you ensure me? Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Happy morning to all the respected delegates. Thank you for joining into this 6 days of this ASTTP program sponsored by ASCT and organized by Seven Hills College of Pharmacy, Tirupati. I must say thank to each one of you by name. Without your consistent support and participation, maybe this would have not be a successful one. So thank you so much and namaskar to each and everybody actually. And at the last step, we have our expert speaker, Dr. Amit Alexander. Sir is an associate professor in Department of Pharmaceutics, Naipal Gauhati. And sir is going to deliver a talk on brain targeting of bioactives through nanomaterials, pharmacokinetic assessment and compartmental analysis. Sir, thank you for accepting our invite and being on this platform today. And to give the honorary introduction, I request my colleague, Dr. B. Jyoti Madam, to do the honors. Madam, over to you.
Good morning, respected speaker, delegates, faculty of SSCP. Myself, Dr. Jyoti, Professor, Department of Pharmacology. So it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Amit Alexander, sir. He is working as an associate professor in the Department of Pharmaceutics, Naipar, Guwahati. He received Doctor of Philosophy from University of Pharmacy, Raipur in 2015. Dr. Alexander has 12 years of teaching and 9 years of research experience. He is a principal investigator of many government-funded research projects. Dr. Alexander has written 2 books, more than 10 book chapters, and filed with 5 patents. To his credit, he has more than 140 scientific publications with cumulative impact factor of 236 in different esteemed journals of international and national reputed. His research gate score is 36.17. He is a review editor in Frontier in Biomaterial Journal. He is also serving as a reviewer in various reputed journals like Elsewhere Type and Wiley Online Type and many more. He is associated with various international research laboratories for scientific collaborations. Dr. Alexander has also visited many conferences and many places for presenting his scientific findings and has received travel grants for the same. Dr. Alexander has many national and international awards, grants, fellowship to his credit. He won the title of Young Scientist 2013, recipient of P.D. Sethil Best Research Paper Award 2013, recipient of the Outstanding Faculty of the Year Award 2016 by GDR Educational Society, first prize in East Central Zone, SPDS DRPI 2020 online. So Dr. Alexander is frequently contributing as grant evaluator in government funding agencies like Science and Engineering Research Board, except New Delhi, India, and associated with various esteemed international journals as well. He has presented many invited talks and oral presentation of various international and national scientific peer conferences, attended seminars and conferences as keynote speaker or chairperson and evaluator. He has guided and trained various UG, PG, PhD students and researchers, participated in various online training programs for young researchers on outreach activities to serve the community. He has also contributed to the development of pharmacy education by creating an educational YouTube channel, Research Tech, for building researchers, served as mentor in CSIR Summer Training Program, STRP 2020, and participated in NME ICT phase project of UGC as content developer and presenter. His overall research goal is to establish a nano research center for the development of novel dosage form to improve the therapeutic efficacy of various bioactivities to treat different physiological conditions. So special emphasis to neurodegenerative disorders. So thank you one and all for giving this opportunity. Over to Sucharita.
Thank you so much, Jyoti Madam, for your wonderful introduction. And with this note, I request today's expert speaker, Amit Alexander, sir, to take over the session. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank
joining.
you so much, Dr.
Kindly go ahead.
Sucharita, and thank you so much, Dr. Jyoti, also for such a wonderful introduction. So, actually, when I was about to select the topic, I thought that who are the participants? Then most of them are the faculty members. So, can you please mute down? Yeah. Okay. So, I thought to prepare a slide that will be useful for the faculty members in a perspective like research, because what we are doing as a faculty members, we have many assignments to do apart from the research work, because teaching is our primary duty. Apart from that, the administration load is also there. I can understand very well, because I was the coordinator of the IQAC cell as well in my earlier organization for the NAC, and also I worked as a coordinator for the NBA also. So I understand each and every criteria and the responsibility, the mapping of PO and COs. So many things are there which need to be sorted out, and at the same time we must work for our profile also, because it doesn't matter that whatever the you have to manage your time, that is for sure. And every body who is there in the participant list, I can see there are various senior people are also there, and they are eminent also in their respective research field. So each and everybody, including me also, we all have faced such problem: how to manage the time, how to manage the duty, and how to manage the academics with the research. So this will be because when I was there, I was always having such kind of questions whenever we are meeting some experts and we are asking them that how I can work for it, how I can go for the publication, how I can improve the publication. So one thing was very common when I discussed with them, that no matter how much responsibility we are going to get, but because this is a part of learning only, because you people will be the leader for the tomorrow, so we should know also at the same time that what these criteria are there, what these parameters are there, so that it will be ahead useful for us only. And apart from that, when it comes for the research writing, we are doing our routine research work also, but somehow some of the research article which we are communicating to the journals, they are not up to the mark. Why? Because there are few things which we need to know, and by giving the inputs of some of the easiest available resources and their interpretation, we can transform our normal manuscript into a very attractive manuscript for the readers. And that's what the editor is looking for. If you are displaying your data in such a manner that there are so many parameters by which you can tell that whatever the things I got at the end, I can very well correlate with each and every aspect. So for this reason only I have selected today's topic. And at the same time I know that uh, it's very difficult to get some simulation models. And this is I don't know, maybe in your institute the WinLonlim software is there for pharmacokinetic assessment. So particularly I have chosen this topic so that we can do some pharmacokinetic assessment and at the same time compartmental modeling also, because I was going through the profile of your college and I found that there are three basic streams like pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical analysis, and one more was there, pharmacology. And apart from that, PharmD program is also there. Sucharita, please let me know if I am wrong.
Correct, sir. Correct,
Okay,
sir.
thank you so much. So I believe I can connect all these departments together with this model, because the pharmaceutical analysis, this is the core branch wherein we require their help in such kind of activities for the assessment of pharmacokinetics. Since you all are having the theoretical knowledge, I'm not going to touch the theoretical part, but very quickly and very shortly, it will not be a short session. For a while I will explain you. And the second half of the session, first half will be like it is totally based upon the application where we require this kind of things. Okay, and the second part will be the assessment part. For the assessment I will go through some basics, then I will go to the final one for the application for the compartmental modeling, so that we can understand also. If I run the program directly, you will never come to know that this kind of parameters are there which can be very useful. Can I get an idea that how many of you are doing work in the pharmacokinetic assessment, if any? Or is it useful for you? Just I want to know. Anybody from the audience?
Sir, you can see the chat box messages. I hope you are in presentation mode. We couldn't see this actually. Chat box.
Yes.
People are replying like
It will be useful. Okay. Yes. Yes. At IIT BHU. I have PK model. Okay. Very good. So Dr. Ajit have done the PKPD model also. Is it available here also, Dr. Ajit? The planning. So it will be useful. Okay. Fine. Fine. So, okay, I am just now closing this chat box because I have to focus more on the presentation. Otherwise, the time will be, over. Okay, so I hope with this presentation I can connect to all. And now I will start my presentation. So, this particular, this is the the main theme of the conference, or the STTP was the neurodegenerative disorders. That's why I have selected this topic, that's for the brain targeting of the bioactives through nanomaterials. So pharmacokinetic assessments and their compartment modeling. I'm not going into the depth of the what the literature is saying and what the theories are there, I will try to explain that how we can utilize the minimum resources, and by minimum resources how much benefit we can get. And at the same time we are also responsible to train our students also. So I have asked Dr. Sucharita to share two uh, Excel file. I hope it reaches to you, if
Yeah,
I'm not
sir.
wrong.
I done the job, sir. I done the job.
Thank you so much, thank you so
Yes,
much.
sir. Thank you.
So that will be very much helpful for me actually, if they all will be in touch, so they can run the show like this. Okay. Okay, then as the topic is related with the neurodegenerative disorder, so little introduction should be there for the human brain. So as we all know that this is a very critical and very complex organ, and it is our main duty as a pharmaceutical person. If some brain disorder is there, we are there to formulate a formulation wherein we can deliver um, a particular drug molecule into a carrier system, so that it can cross the blood brain barrier and goes into the brain region, and this will be your plasma region. So this barrier we need to cross, and this is our command center also at the same time. And so because of this, and it is very much complex structure is there, so it is very difficult for a drug molecule to pass this blood brain barrier. Okay, because purposely it was this barrier is there, so that if nobody is using the mic, can you please mute yourself? Okay. So it also senses the environment and surrounding stimulus. So it also helps us to make the decision also, because when we are going outside and suddenly we are finding that it's too much hot, then what we are doing, we are opening an umbrella because of the sense and the signal we are getting from the brain that okay, if you'll go in this weather or in this condition, it will be harmful for us. If you are going from a place where too much dust is there, you will automatically take out your handkerchief and you will keep it over your nose because of this brain signaling. So and there are certain challenges also for the brain drug delivery, like the blood brain barrier itself. It is a very complex one, and the brain cerebrospinal fluid barrier, efflux transporter, because whatever the molecules which are getting inside the brain region, and after their conversion, there the efflux pumps are there, which are throwing out the molecules or throwing out the things to outside the brain. So we have to take care of this also very well. And the blood volume distribution also, drug degradation through metabolic enzymes, and of course the first pass metabolism. So we need to take all these criteria into the consideration, and based on this we have to design a delivery system so that it can well cross the this barrier and it can be delivered into the brain region. So let's first go through the some detail about the blood-brain barrier. So as you can see in the figure, this is a typical capillary which is in the brain, and you can see the blood vessels are there in the center part. So also this is a systemic circulation. So your drug is present here, this side, and it has to move from this side to this side, that is the brain region. This will be your brain region. So first of all, it will come across the first barrier, that is the endothelial cell, which is a tight junction. Okay, so will be the first barrier. After that, it is supported by a basal membrane, you can see, and after that it is well protected by the pericyte and astrocyte. So last barrier will be the astrocyte. So these many barrier a drug molecule need to cross, and then only it can reaches the brain region. So whenever we are working in some neuro disorders, our aim is always to deliver the drug into the brain region, so that we can get the maximum bioavailability. Now there are two compartments. First is your plasma, and second one is the brain region. There may be chance that the drug is having a 100% bioavailability in the plasma region, but it is having a very poor bioavailability in the brain region. So this is how the people are doing a research to develop a kind of delivery system, so that is this drug molecule who is having or which is having a 100% viability in the plasma, we can utilize this also to penetrate this membrane, and we can make it cross this barrier and make it available in the brain region as well, so that it can give the maximum pharmacological responses. So these are certain different type of cells which we are using for the research studies also, like the brain capillary endothelial cells. This is the most common cells which are used for the study of neurodegenerative disorders or any brain disorder, because we need to see first of all in vitro, whenever you are preparing any novel formulation, some drug are there, you have to justify that it is very well showing the efficacy in vitro also in the cellular studies. Then only you can be, or you should go for the in vivo activities. So without this cellular studies, it is not a wise step to directly jump from in vitro to in vivo. Okay, so in vitro cellular study is also a key element. Apart from that, there are various transport system to cross the blood-brain barrier. First one is the passive diffusion. As you know, it is a diffusion system, which is responsible for the drug to penetrate the membrane by the virtue of the concentration gradient. This can be well depicted in one of the this picture also, like you can see the paracellular transport, where the polar drug, they use this in between cells, they find a way to cross this barrier. And second one, the transcellular transport, where non-polar drugs, like these were the charged species, and these are the non-polar, like unionized drug are there, which can cross through the cell. And apart from that, ion channel transports are there, receptor mediated transports are there. We can target receptor like transferrin receptor, like insulin, and also to cross our drug to this region, the brain region. Okay. Then the next is the carrier mediated transport, wherein we can use different kind of carrier system also to pass our drug by opting the uphill transport. Likewise, as I told, these are the efflux transport, by which the metabolites and the neurotransmitters are coming outside from the brain into the systemic circulation. So these are some systems, and there are some strategies also by which we can deliver the drug. Like first of all, the preparation of the nanoparticulate drug delivery. So it is generally based upon the lipid-based nanoparticles are there, liposomes are there, solid lipid nanoparticles are there, nanostructured lipid carrier systems are there. There are also nanoparticles which are based on the basis of polymeric changes, dendrimers, MSN, and the list goes on. So these are some nano range kind of drug particulate system. This MSN are the mesoporous silica nanoparticle. It is having a range of 10 micrometer to 50 micrometer. So this is the range wherein this MSNs are working. Now the second is the target specific system, wherein we can target and we can bind the drug molecule with a ligand. Okay, this is a ligand, and this is a type of ligand. This is a carrier system or a delivery system. So that now to bind this, we need a linker. This. So this ligand can be well targeted to the specific, receptor. So this is another area where we can target the system. like the transferrin modified nanoparticles are there, lactoferrin modified nanoparticles are there. When I'm saying nanoparticle, it means any kind of nanoparticle, like it can be a liposome, it can be a gold nanoparticle, it can be silver nanoparticle, it can be SLN, LC, everything. Then glutathione, these are some overexpressed receptor present in the brain cells. Then the third category is the smart drug delivery, that is the stimuli triggered system. So basically, there are different kind of stimulus which we can use, like the thermoresponsive, pH responsive, photosensitive, magnetically triggered, etc. Then the fourth kind of strategy which we can opt to deliver our drug to the brain region is the direct nose to brain delivery system, where we can use a mucoadhesive kind of polymer, a colloidal carrier, or a nanoparticulate system, so that we can also amalgamate this system with this smart polymer, so that if you are developing a kind of delivery system which can be penetrating through the nose to the direct olfactory region, or the and it can go to the trigeminal nerve as well, so that its retention is important. So for this retention, you need a mucoadhesive kind of polymeric system, and at the same time, if you amalgamate this carrier system with the thermoresponsive one, so that it will be a temperature triggered as well. So there are many kind of polymers which are thermoresponsive. We can opt those kind of polymer and we can deliver the drug. Then the fate of the drug targeting. What is the reason and why we need to do that? So we want the higher bioavailability. Also, we want to protect the drug from the enzymatic degradation, because if the drug is going to the systemic circulation directly, if open drug is going to the systemic circulation, it may encounter, and it has to face many kind of enzymes also, which can degrade it. So what is the best reason? So best way, so that we can encapsulate this drug into carrier system, and we can pegylate. By pegylation, by providing a hydrophilic end, now this can be well protected, and it can be a stealth delivery system which will be prevented from the RES system. So this type of strategies increases the half-life of the drug, first of all, and if the ligand is present here, it can bind well with the receptor of the brain also. So, and another thing is reducing dose frequency, also one of the reason. We also want to have a minimum side effect as well, and we also can design a delivery system which can very well control and prolong the drug release. Then at the same time, we want higher therapeutic efficacy and minimum systemic exposure. So these are some reasons because of which we want to deliver a good delivery system. So we will just look with some of the case studies wherein we can find that what is the purpose, why I'm going to explain you all that why we need this kind of things. The only thing is, you see the publication, you see the journal name, and the very simple works people have done in their labs, but the way they represent it, that is a need also, because you need to prove that your drug is present in the brain region. So what are the different pharmacokinetic parameters by which we can display or disseminate our findings in a very well manner. So I will quickly explain all those things, because some time we require to discuss all the pharmacokinetics also. This is one of the example. It is published in the European Journal of Pharmaceutics and Biopharmaceutics. The source is given in the bottom. Here you can see this is the source of the article. This journal is in the elsewhere. So the topic is, they have used the intranasally delivered. They use the rivastigmine drug, and to deliver to the brain region, they prepared a neosomes formulation, and through nasal route they have delivered the rivastigmine. So you can see in the graph both the way. I hope it is clear to you all. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is visible and clear.
Because because otherwise I have to use the second slide. So it will become very, it is not connecting then. So these are some qualities of the drug. That is, it is FDA approved. It is used for the Alzheimer treatment. It is ACE inhibitor. Its viability is 60 to 70%. Half-life is 1.5 hours, and it is having some limitations. So we need to carry out this drug So the author has prepared a neosomal formulation. They have loaded the rivastigmine drug into neosomal formulation, and through the nasal route, they have administered this particular delivery system, and they have observed. So what they have observed, they did two kind of studies. One is the pharmacokinetic study. This is the pharmacokinetic study, and the second one is the biodistribution study. So biodistribution study, what we are doing in the pharmacokinetic study, we are administering the drug only, and we are taking out the plasma drug concentration. But in the biodistribution study, we are very much curious to see that where the drug has gone, because they have chosen two kind of drugs like NAC, which is the N-acetyl cysteine loaded bifunctional neosome. So they have compared in various regions like brain. They have sacrificed the animal, they have isolated the brain, they have triturated it, and after the trituration, that the serum was that the sample was centrifuged and the serum was collected, and again the concentration was taken out. And also the heart, they have studied how much drug is there present in the heart, and the kidney, and the liver, and the lung, and the spleens. So these organs, the biodistribution study they have seen, and out of that, it has very well noted in the graph itself that this neosomal formulation, the author which they have prepared, is very well working as it was supposed to go to the brain region only. We can see from the graph that maximum concentration is present in the brain region also. So this is the way of disseminating your result. So there are so many software like GraphPad, Prism, and many other softwares are there by which you can prepare such kind of graphs. Okay, so what we are going to learn today is this kind of parameters like AUC, area under curve, we know, T half, we know, half life, T max, we know this one, then MRT, then C max. Okay, so by deputing such kind of, or by deploying such kind of parameter with a single study only, they have only once they have did means they have did the experiment in replication, and for this also many animals have been sacrificed, because this kind of study need huge number of animals to study for the biodistribution study, because for each time point you have to sacrifice the animal. Okay, so likewise the group will increase, so you need to have such kind of plus minus sign. So plus minus sign is nothing but the standard deviation, how much your results is deviating. Okay, so we need to check it. So this is one of the example. Second example you can see here also. This is a novel small. This is a kind of cubosome, as it is a form of cube. You can see it is a shape of cubosome, and they have used the odoronolactone. They have targeted this one, and they have did this study, and they are showing that only pure cubosomes are not that much effective, and if they increase the concentration of this particular ligand, that is the odoronolactone, the concentration in the brain region, they are getting more. So this is another example, and this is the Journal of Alzheimer Disease. They have used the neuroprotective potential of the curcumin loaded nanostructural lipid carrier in an animal model of the Alzheimer disease. So there are various methods by which we can induce Alzheimer into the animal. They have studied the behavioral as well as the biochemical evidences. So here also I want to show you that the parameter. I will talk about the parameter only, because the theory part you can know very well, and these are the things which we need to display, which we have to calculate, and sometimes we find very difficult to calculate these things because we are depending upon the Excel sheet provided by our friends or some other seniors also, but we are not knowing the fact that how it can be calculated and what is the reason behind this calculation, whether we can calculate by our own, whether we can make our own calculation by Excel program. So these things we must know, like AUC 0 to T, what is AUC 0 to T, and can we find out AUC 0 to infinity also? So that is the thing we will learn today. That is the Cmax, Tmax. Here also these are two things they did. One is the plasma drug concentration, This is the plasma pharmacokinetic profile. And another one, they have taken the biodistribution study for the brain pharmacokinetic study and the liver pharmacokinetic study, and they have compared it. So this is one case. Case 4. Another, this is the brain, they did for the brain tumor, and they have targeted the glial cell is the basic cell which we can target. Here also we can see the presence of the novel carrier system has the sustainable effect, which is very well disseminated by this graph. And here also there is a ratio between the brain and the plasma, and the Cmax they have reported, Tmax they have reported, AUC 0 to 24, and the elimination rate. At what rate the drug is eliminating? This is represented by the Ke, and this is AUC 0 to T. And one thing they missed is, if they would have displayed AUC 0 to infinity, that also we can showcase in our findings, because there are huge softwares, like very costly software, I believe, like Winlonlin. So if you run your samples in Winlonlin, like one of the participants, Dr. Ajit, has told that he has already done this PKPD modeling. So he is knowing that there are so many parameters by which we can access, and by which we can interpolate the things, and the interpretation also we can do. Okay, so this is another example, and wherein you can see again they have shown the efficacy of the carrier system to deliver the drug into the brain region. And this is the vinpocetin. It is also used for the Alzheimer's disease. And here also the parameter you can see, Cmax they have taken, Tmax they have taken, AUC 0 to 24, AUC 0 to infinity, AUMC the 0 to infinity they have taken, and the bioavailability, which is the relative comparison. So these parameters they have taken out, and they have disseminated their findings into with respect to different kind of formulation. They have prepared their VNP nanoparticle. They have compared with the solution and another marketed tablet. So all the studies they did, and they have compared, and they have given the profile. Okay. So as you can see here also, like AUC. I hope AUC all of you are knowing. Actually,
Yes,
I can't see the chat box right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm replying. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So this AUC, you can see it is more in the case of novel formulation as compared to the solution itself, and with respect to the marketed formulation. So this is the thing by which we can display that, okay, whatever the delivery system we are making and we have made, is it of worth. Okay. Another good example is the this one, which is only I have chosen to explain this criteria. This is not the criteria which we are doing for the NBA and NAC. This is another criteria which is known as Akaike's information criteria, and SBC is the Schwarz-Bayesian criteria. These two criteria are very much important to for you to know, because these are the two criteria by which you can select the best model, and this is known as the model selector based upon this criteria. This AIC value should be low, and also this SC value, it is also known as SBC, SC, and various type of things you can see, and SB also. So this is one of the article which was published, and they have done the preclinical pharmacokinetic, the animal study, and the pharmacodynamic modeling study of 4-hydroxysoleucin using the validated ultra HPLC and the mass spectrophotometer. So what they have done, they have simply and very in a very prominent way, they have displayed their result. What they did first of all the non-compartmental analysis. Again, they have done the compartmental pharmacokinetics. Okay, and they want to know which criteria, which model this study is following, whether it is following a non-compartmental, or whether it is following a whether it is following a one compartmental or the two compartment analysis. So they have given 10 mg per kg of per oral drug, and you can see the values they have find out the parameter. You can see now what is Cmax, what is AUC 0 to 2, what is AUC 0 to infinity, what is Ke, what is Tmax, T half for alpha, T half for beta, T half only is clearance, volume of distribution for the central compartment, volume of distribution for the peripheral, rate of elimination. This is the movement of rate of drug from central compartment to the peripheral. This is the reabsorption of the peripheral from the drug movement from the peripheral to the central compartment. R square. So R square should always be, we should take the observed value. R square observed, that is required. AIC, I told you, it should be low. SBC, it should be low. So based upon this, now here are the data. Now here also we can select. So what we need best R square. For the interpretation, which model it is following, we can see this area. Okay, so here R square is 0.947. Here R square is 0.997. Okay, that means R square should be near to 1. It is showing the linearity. If R square equal to 1, that means perfect straight line. If R square is equal to 0.5, that means it would have like this. Okay, so R square we want 1. So 0.947 is less, 0.997 is more. And also I want AIC, Akaike Information Center. This should be lower side. So okay, 156 is the lower side, and SBC also is the model sector criteria. So 164 is more for this model for the same study, and 158 is the less one. So in all, it is following the two compartmental model. Okay, so this is way by which we can select. Okay, and they have shown the graphical presentation also, like this is the administration, this is the rate of absorption, this is the central compartment C1, this is the C2. So rate is the drug is moving from this compartment to this compartment. That is why it is K12. When it is coming from this side to this side, it is K21. And always the drug whichever is going to eliminate through excretion, it has to come back to the central compartment. Then only from the renal route it can be excreted out. So if it is a one compartment, then outside it is 0. That's why it is displaying K10. Okay, so this is nothing but the rate of elimination. Okay, now we will see the computer simulation softwares for the pharmacokinetic assessment. There are so many softwares available: GastroPlus, WinLonlin, ThoughtPro. ThoughtPro is also, you can get a 30 days trial. Okay, afterward it is a paid one. It's this software also, its subscription is too much high. GastroPlus, based upon the module, what module you want, you can get the things, but they are not providing the entire library, which is a missing part, and it is also very costly at the same time. And Kinetica software is also there. And one good software which I found is the PK Solver. Maybe you people have come across it, and maybe you are using it also. But it is a very easily available software. It is free of cost. First of all, it is available in Google. Okay, with tutorials and everything, you can find it out. And but how to do that? How we can do this kind of interpretation? So very quickly, I will explain you. So now from this point onwards, I have to move little bit fast. So Sucharita, will it be okay?
Okay, sir. No problem.
Okay, thank you. No, but what about the other participants? I don't. I have not received any response. So can you see the chat box and let me know what any comment is there?
No, sir. There is no comments. in the
Okay,
chat
fine.
box, actually. Yes,
So,
yeah. Now the comments are started.
Okay, please let me know if everything is going above the head. I can stop anywhere, no problem. Because
No,
afterwards
sir.
many calculations are there. But good thing that you will learn a very good thing free of cost. This is a free, free Excel program only. Okay, so we will start with the PK Solver. Okay, so
Okay,
this
sir.
is a PK Solver paper which you can download, or you can take the print shot also of this presentation So Yong Jiang in 2010 they published this paper for this algorithm what the PK solver software has done for calculation of all the pharmacokinetic parameters, both compartmental, non-compartmental, and the pharmacodynamic model also. As Dr. Ajit has said, he has already done this PKPD modeling. So both the things you can also get free of cost. No need for such kind of costly softwares for the interpretation. Both the NCA and pharmacokinetic model we can do. And okay, yes, they did. This paper related that the accuracy of the PK solver over other costly solver. You can see one compartment model result for A, for alpha, for B, for beta, for C, for gamma. That means these three are the three compartment models. Okay, alpha, beta. These are two compartment model. If you take three readings, it will be three compartment model. So you can see for the A value, that is A nothing but the C0. It is an extension of the distribution phase and extrapolated line on the y-axis. So you can see by Win-Lonlin, they did the experiment, they found it value is 1.4028. They have run another software, that is the Scientist. It is also showing 1.4029. And this PK solver, they run this also. This is also at par with the Win-Lonlin and this Scientist, almost it is the same one. And another, you can see the alpha value for the A. So alpha value is the distribution phase, which is a very fast phase. So again, it is having 0.0079, 0.0079, 0.0079. You can see the accuracy of this software which we are going to learn. Okay, so I will not touch all those things. This is K10, K12, K21, K13, K31. These are the macro parameters which can be easily find out. T half for alpha, T half for beta, T half for gamma, C0 initial drug concentration, VC, CL clearance, 0 to infinity, AUMC, MRT, VSSS, steady state, then observed. These are the diagnostic. Here also you will find AIC and SC. From these values also you can find out which one is the good model which is fitting into this criteria. Okay, so these are the things. This is the result for two compartment. Also, very small deviation is there. Win-Lonlin is giving 1.0566. It is giving 1.0578. Okay. In the three compartment, it is giving 0.654, 6584, and it is giving 0.6649. So that means this software, which is freely available and can be used for our daily routine practicals, and also we can train our students also so that they cannot face any problem. But to handle this, software, you need to know all these parameters. If you're not knowing what these parameters are, this is of no use. Okay, so let's see. This is the interface of the PK solver program. This is the data, and these are the modules like non-NCA, that is the non-compartmental analysis for extravascular, IV bolus, infusion, compartmental analysis for the extravascular, IV bolus, infusion. So this is the thing. I will show you also as well. And these are the results. After deputing this into your system, you will get lambda z value. Now you need to know what is lambda z first of all. Okay, because if you are having the software also and then you are not interpreting, then it is of no use. T half also, T max, C max, T lag time, AUC 0 to T, 0 to infinity. One thing is very much common. That's why I purposely taken this parameter AUC. Okay, so this is the interface, and these are the another interface of the program. These are the different parameters by which you can get the value. Okay, this is also lambda z, LZ. It will be like LZ. LZ is nothing but lambda z. Okay. Now the principle of first order kinetics and importance of the estimating half-life. Just see the first order kinetics. So first order kinetics begins with the entire program for the pharmacokinetics begin with a very small equation that start from the dc by dt equal to minus kc. Now example of first order is, we all know radioactive example, that the amount of concentration present, how much amount is there, it will depend how much radiation it can emit. Okay, so it is based upon the concentration. So this is concentration depending. Everything, whatever you are seeing in the first order reaction, it is concentration. And in the pharmacokinetic, basically in the linear pharmacokinetic, we are seeing the first order kinetics only. Okay, so if I take, this is a C, this entire axis is C, this entire axis is T. I am also very much keen to know that there are some PharmD students also. They are doing their routine practicals for the clinical studies also. It is also very much important for them also. Like they can correlate their finding. They are taking blood samples also. They are also in the drug monitoring also. So they need to have some quantified value, because this pharmacokinetic means you have to have a quantified values. Okay, so here if I say, what is this point? What is this small point? So this is small point is nothing. This small point is nothing but it is a DC, a small fraction of the concentration at a small fraction of time. Okay, which is equal to minus rate of elimination into the entire concentration, this whole concentration into the negative slope. This is what the negative slope. If the graph is going up, the K value will be positive. If the graph is coming down, the K value will be showing the negative value. Okay. Then next one, the principle of first order. So this begins with this small changes, like dC by dt equal to minus kc, as we already discussed. Now after the rearrangement, it becomes dC by c equal to minus k dt. This interchange we did. Okay. Now after integration, it becomes to the natural log of c is equal to minus kt plus constant, which is nothing but y equal to mx plus c. So y is equal to y-axis, x equal to x-axis, m is nothing but slope, and c is the intercept here, this one, which is known as, if it is a concentration, always this intercept will be C0. Why now 0? Because the time is 0. So this will be your initial concentration. This will be your intercept. So this also we can see natural logarithm of C, it will come here. Minus k will come here, and t will come here, and constant. So constant is what? Nothing but a natural logarithm of C0, because if you put kt equal to 0 in this, if kt is equal to 0, c is equal to C0, then the equation will become natural logarithm of C0 is equal to only constant, because this will be eliminated if you keep it as a 0. So what is the constant value? The constant value will be replaced by natural logarithm of C0. In the graph also we can see the natural logarithm of C0 is the initial drug loading. Okay, and after that the slope, you can rearrange natural logarithm of C1 minus C2 upon T1 minus T2. So y equal to slope is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. These are some basics. Okay, now example where we can apply this first order kinetics. So example is a solution of ethyl acetate in 10 buffer 25 kept at 25 degrees Celsius 1 hour after preparation was found to be 3 mg. 2 hours after, 1 hour after, it is 3 mg. 2 hours after, it was 2 mg. Then calculate the pseudo first order rate constant for the hydrolysis of ethyl acetate. So same equation we can use, the earlier one, m equal to natural logarithm of 3 minus natural logarithm of 2, 3 minus 2, this 3 minus 2, 2 concentrations are there, divided by 2 time point are there, 1 minus 2. So if you take down the concentration, okay, like natural logarithm of 3 is equal to 1.099 and for 2 is equal to 0.693. You have to know that always natural logarithm of 2 is 0.693. Okay, divided by minus 1. So minus 40406 are equal to minus k. Therefore, k is equal to 0.406. Okay, so this way we can find out the rate. So this is what we are doing also. And this is another equation. I hope this meet.google.com is sharing a window. ये आपको नहीं दिख रहा है? I think it's not visible to you.
It is visible, sir.
Oh, because there are some equation. Okay, no mind. So first equation, another way what we can do, this was our equation, natural logarithm of c is equal to minus kt plus natural logarithm of c0. What we can do, natural logarithm of c minus, I will bring this to this side, c0 equal to minus kt. Then I want to remove this minus sign, then I will multiply by minus both the way. It will become c0 minus natural logarithm of c is equal to kt. That means the final equation will be, which you cannot see here, is natural logarithm of c0 by c is equal to kt. This is another way to calculate the pharmacokinetic, by which we can easily calculate the rate if we are having two concentration and the time. Okay, let's see. Here in the example we can see natural logarithm of c0 by c equal to kt. If c0 by c, this is also very useful for the calculation of half-life. Okay, half-life means if the natural logarithm of c0, if suppose c0 value is 50 and c value is 25, automatically it will be coming to 2. That means half of the initial concentration. This is your initial concentration. Now you are doing, we are dividing, and if you are getting the value of 2, that means you are dividing it perfectly into half. So when c0 by c equal to 2, t is equal to t half. Thus natural logarithm of 2, that is the half of the concentration, is equal to k into t half. That means natural logarithm of 2 is equal to how much? 0.693 into kt. So k is equal to 0.693 divided by t half, as well as t half also can be 0.693 divided by k. This is the half-life. If you are taking some pharmacokinetic study, how many blood sample you are going to take, and when you are stop taking the blood samples for the subject. So if you are taking 0 time, that means 100% initial drug you have loaded. So the drug completeness of the process is 0 only in the first half-life. When you achieve the first half-life, that means you are taking the drug samples, and if you get the concentration of 50 microgram or 50% of the drug, that means you can claim 50% of the drug is still remaining in the body. If you are getting the 25% initial concentration remaining inside the body, that means completeness of process is 75. If inside the body only 12% of the drug is there, that means 87.5% of the process has been completed. Likewise, if you are achieving 7 half-life, that means we can say very well that we have completed almost 99.22%. So there is two type of graph also for the calculation. This is the simple, and this is the semi log graph. Okay, so this also very common we are using in the routine practical for our MPharm students. So I hope you all know about the semi logarithmic graph paper. So another way for calculation of half-life, instantly what we can do, here you can see the graph which has been plotted. You can see the time points are there, here, 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 here. So what I can do, now the definition say it is a half of initial concentration. So what I will do, I will select 10. I can also select 8 and 4 also. I can select 6 and 3 also. I can select 4 and 2 also. So for example, I am selecting 10. I will extrapolate this line to the elimination phase. Then I will go to down, and also just half of it, that is 10 ka half, 5. 10 half is 5 only, just. So it will be calculated like here at 10 microgram, the time is coming 5.2 hours, and at 8 it is coming at 10 microgram, the time is 5.2 hours. At 5, if you are extrapolating this and coming down to this, its time is 7.6 hours. So if you subtract, you will get the value for t half. So this was the time, this is the time where you are achieving the t half. This margin is the t half. This is the another method to calculate t half when you are not having when you are having a semi logarithmic graph paper with you. This is the advantage of semi logarithmic graph paper. So it is 2.4 hours. So t half, if you are getting a value for t half, now you can easily calculate k10. Okay, like k10 equal to 0.693 divided by t half will be equal to some value which I cannot see, but you can calculate by your own. 0.693 divided by 2.4. you will get the value of K10. So what we have learned, we have now know how to calculate K10 as well as T half, which are very important. Okay, now we will go and we will see the some other pharmacokinetic parameter like the clearance. So clearance is nothing but the dose. Whenever I am saying dose, if you are getting such kind of graph, just you extrapolate this thing. So whenever you are getting C0, that is your dose. The final concentration means the initial concentration at time 0. This was the drug which is present in the plasma. Okay, at time 0 when you started the experiment, because the moment you will start the experiment, the first reading you will be taking after 1 hour, maybe after 2 hours, second, after third hour, this one. So you will get only this kind of point, one here, one here, after 2 hour 1, after 3 hour 1, after this thing. But if you extrapolate this thing, you can also come to know the C0 value, which will be there at 0 time. This can be a calculated value. Okay, 0 time. So we can calculate AUC 0 to infinity also. So clearance can be calculated by dose upon AUC 0 to infinity. For clearance, we can use two methods. That is the rate into volume of distribution. And if you divide that, XU is nothing but the amount of drug coming out from the urine into an unchanged form. Okay, so it will be an infinity one. So it is also a dose. Okay, why dose? Because see, if it is a graph curve of dB and if it is a graph curve of urine, XU. Okay, so at this moment it can be du and it can be dB, but here it is very small, so that's why. But if I'll say infinity and somewhere it is started from the start from here, dB 0, and if I take the infinity one, it will be XU infinity. So this one will be parallel. So that's why XU infinity is equal to dB 0, and dB 0 is nothing but the dose only. So dose upon the AUC infinity. Now area under curve. Here we will see how to calculate area under curve 0 to infinity, 0 to T, and T to infinity. So it is a very essential, as we have seen in our previous experiment, case studies also. So the formula is like the concentration, the plasma drug concentration. If you integrate the plasma drug concentration from 0 time to infinity time, that means you have to find out the value from AUC 0 to infinity, and 0 to infinity is nothing but AUC 0 to T plus AUC T to infinity. I will show in the second part. See here up to this study you have done the experiment from T0. First you got the point, second you got the point, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So I can say that T is equal to 8R. Up to 8R we have studied, and this was the last known concentration, Cp. Okay, now here up to this we can draw the area under curve, this region, this entire region. Okay, but what about this? This line can be extended now up to infinity. This graph also we need to know, this portion. So this is what a amalgamation of two things. Here the infinity, here this one. So it will be AUC 0 to infinity. If you want to calculate, you have to calculate first AUC 0 to T star. Here as per this figure, it is T equal to T star. Okay, or if you are knowing the points, like assume it will be 8R, so it can be T8 plus the second half, this portion, this shaded portion, you also need to know, which will be AUC 8R. From 8R up to what extent we don't know. So this will be the combination. Is it clear to all? Just in the chat box, please, as text, and please, Dr. Suchirita, let me know if it is clear.
Okay, sir.
We are running out of time also. Any response?
Yes, sir. It is clear.
Okay, fine. I am going ahead. Then now again, this is the same one. I will not touch this one, otherwise you will be afraid. So this is another equation from T infinity to calculate. Simple. These are few more examples. Now these are the trapezoid rules also. You know, if it is a C, C, you know, and this is the C1. Sorry, this one no. If we'll take this trapezoid, that if it is a C1, if it is a C2, then again it will be T1 and it will be T2. So what we have to do? We have to first of all half of the, we have to add both the concentration C1 plus C2, and we have to multiply it by the difference, that is T2 minus T1, T2 minus T1. Okay, so this if you do, you will get the value up to 12 hours, because here you see the value is AUC 0 to 12. You can get the reading if you keep on adding the things. Now this is main thing, lambda z. We have seen in the program. That is why I have chosen this one. So lambda z is nothing. That means you have seen it is a combination of, if you want to calculate AUC 0 to infinity, you have to calculate first 0 to t, then CT divided by lambda z. So CT is what? CT is the
అడ్రస్ చెప్పావా?
last known concentration. Last known concentration. Like in this case, here was the 12 and the last known concentration was 1. So 1 it will be there, and you have to find out lambda z. Lambda z is what? Terminal elimination rate constant, nothing but K10. Simple. Okay, so what we can do, we can plot the same data, this data into semi-logarithmic graph paper. Then we can subtract the two, you know, part, and we can get the t half. Once we will get the t half, we can find the K10 also. So this value also we can do. So here is one example I have selected. It is also with your Excel program. I hope all of you are having the same thing. Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So this Excel program, very quickly I will share the screen. I know where to. Okay, again I am out of this. Share the screen for AUC. Fine. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So see, what was the result? This data. Okay, so I have copied from the this one. Now I am deleting all those things. I have made this calculation like 0. First one will be 0. Second one 0.5, 1 by 2. Then is both the plus, and then the subtraction. So what I will do, I will paste the entire thing, whatever I have copied. Then since it is nothing here, this value we can find out. So AUC can be calculated very well. This will be AUC of 0 to 12. Have you seen this one? The graph will be plotted also, and at the same time we will be getting the AUC 116. We can also check this one with the add-in program, which is the PK solver. Okay, so PK solver, I will go to the non-compartment analysis, and after this, this interface will be open. Then I have to run time. I will select this time I want to calculate, and concentration I want to calculate this one. See, now the thing is, you have to mention the time. It is in hour. Okay, R it is. Then microgram per ml, the concentration was, but we don't know the drug, the amount of dose we have taken, because it was not there with me in the example. So roughly I will take suppose 250 I am putting it, because this program will calculate the things based upon the dose, the original pharmacokinetics parameter, not on the trapezoidal rule. We can do on the Excel basis like this, but we can check it and we can run the program. Here I am running the program. This parameter I got. So what are the parameter I got? Lambda z. Lambda z what? Rate. It is nothing but the rate. It is the rate, the lambda z value. Okay, how much it is coming? 0.3465. Okay, and what was the AUC 0 to t? It is 116. We also got the same in our Excel program. 0 to 12, it is 116. So to calculate AUC 0 to infinity, we know the last concentration we need to know. So last concentration was 1. So 1 divided by the rate lambda z, it is 0.3465. Can anybody calculate this one? How much the value will be? One divided by 0.3465. So its value is coming around 2.88 something. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now the formula, as per the formula, we know that AUC 0 to infinity is equal to AUC 0 to 12 plus AUC 12 to infinity. Now AUC 0 to 12 is 116 around, and it is around 2.88. So what will be the probable AUC infinity?
118.80.
0.88. Let's check it. So see, AUC infinity observed is 118.8. Okay, the same result we are getting. But apart from this is going to give you many more things. AUMC, MRT, volume of distribution, and clearance also. Okay. So I will close this one. I hope this is clear to all. The screen is visible.
No, sir.
Wait. Better I will share my whole screen. Okay. So now is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine. So this we did. The data we want now. Compartmental analysis. So one compartment. So one compartment means this.
Sir, click on height, sir.
Which one?
Click on the height right.
Oh, this one. Huh? Okay,
Yes.
fine. Okay, so this one compartment graph will be like this. Two compartment, you can get two slopes. One is for the distribution slope, alpha phase, which is known as the fast one, and one is the beta phase, which is known as the slow phase. It is showing the elimination, and its alpha value is showing the fast one, that is the distribution. And post distribution, which is going toward the elimination, it is shown by the beta phase. When generally your drug is following the two compartment model. Now, if I extrapolate this line towards y, I will get one point which will be an initial concentration for this distribution phase, and this point is known as A. Okay, you have seen the A, so this is the A. And if I extrapolate this line towards A, towards this y-axis, it will be the value of B. So now you come to know where A and B is. Okay, so these are the A and these are the B. This is the B. So the equation is very simple. For one compartment, which is a mono exponential, only one exponent term is there. Okay, like minus k10 into t. If you are saying that some example you can give, see the dose is going to the central compartment and it is coming out from the form of k10. So rearranging this equation, you will get k10 equal to 2.303 by t into log of c10 by c1. So example, if the amount of the drug in the body declines from 100%, 100% means it will be a dB0 to the 25%. That means the next concentration in the dose in the 8 hours. So 8 hours will be the time. What is the elimination rate? In this case, the elimination rate constant for the one compartment model, we can easily find out by this formula, which we have seen earlier. So K10 we need to find out, T.303. So you have to find out the 100 divided by 25. So it will be 4. So log 4 value, you can put it and you can get the value of testing. We can get the value of K10. Okay, so elimination rate constant will be 0.173. How we can write it? Since the expression was dB is equal to dB0 into e to the power minus kt. This is the mono exponential equation. How it can be displayed? dB is equal to 100. 100 was the initial concentration, so it can be written as 100 into e to the power minus 0.173 into t. This is the way we are writing the equation. Okay, now two compartment. Since it is a bi-exponential, two exponents are there, and one is AE for distribution phase. This intercept is A, and this intercept is B, and this is alpha phase, and this is beta phase. That means alpha is representing the rate. K10 we are, if I am saying K10, so K10 is nothing but it will be a alpha plus beta only. Alpha is one phase and beta is another phase. So if you rearrange, it will come like A and B. You can find out the value of A and B. Okay, so alpha is fast, beta is slow. Example, see a drug follow two compartment pharmacokinetic model after administration a single dose of 5.6 per mg per kilo in a human volunteer. It is a part of clinical study. So it was the equation. So from this, what I can judge is 18 will be the value of A, 12 will be the value of B, and this were nothing but this is beta and this is alpha. Only the way they wrote is in the bi-exponential form. It is very easy. Now, what is the plasma level drug concentration after 3 hours? So 3 hours means I have to replace this T with 3 only. I will get the result for the concentration in the central compartment after 3 hours. After IV administration, the 3 hours, what will be the concentration? So let's see. This is the base equation. To obtain C1 after 3 hours, T is equal to 3, we need to substitute. So it will be 18E epsilon, like e to the power minus 0.16 into T. Here what we have done, we want to replace the T with the 3. See, we have replaced the T with the 3. If you multiply, you will get here e to the power 0. This one and e to the power 0.173. I will quickly show how we can calculate this using the calculator, simple calculator, not simple but a scientific one. If you go here, you can get many type of scientific calculator, standard graphing and everything. I am now going to this one. If I want to calculate e to the power something, then I will press first E. Okay, then I will go to this. Can you see this calculator?
Yes, yes.
Fine. So I will now press this x to the power. So now I have to put a bracket. Without bracket, you will not get the correct reading. Then I have to put a negative sign. So minus 0.48. Again, close the bracket. You will get the reading for this 18, like e to the power minus 0.48. E to the power minus 0.48 value is 0.618. Let's see. 0.618. Okay. Now the similar way we will calculate this one also. First, e to the power. This exponents. Again, you have to keep bracket minus 17.4. This one 2.775. Got it? So this, if you plus, you will get the concentration at 3 hours. So the central compartment concentration at 3 hours will be 44.42 microgram per ml. Hence, the plasma level of the drug after 3 hours of the IV administration of the dose is 44.42. I hope this one compartment and two compartment is nothing, but it's very easy. Again, the Kai come. So this is the same we have seen. Now we will apply one of the example into the PK solver so that we can come to know that how we can calculate it. Okay. Another thing I missed was the use of this is the semi-logarithmic graph paper which I have given you. So you can use it, semi-logarithmic graph paper. The only thing you need to change your time and this one. This is a log scale. It is a log scale. It is start from 1 always. It will never start from 0. So it will go to 10, 100, 1000, 10,000 and whatever you want to take. So you can plot it for your calculation of T half. Okay, you can roughly, like if I'll put some line here, this line, if I drag it, okay, from insert illustration shape, you can select one line, you can place one line over here at the 10. Okay, then again replicate it, you keep one near to its half, just for the rough I am showing you. You will get 2 intercept. Then you take another line, like this, keep it here at the exact point, you will get the time, like this. It is very easy. So now this we are doing. Okay, so you will get this difference, you will get here, you will get the difference. Okay, so this will be nothing, it will be a value for your t half. Okay, now quickly I will jump into this conclusion. So this is a case where a compound HI6 has been shown to have a very effective in the treatment of the laboratory animal poisoned with the organophosphate anticholinesterase chemicals human. The pharmacokinetic of HI6 has been studied by Simons and Briggs in 1983. They have published this in article. Following intravenous administration to beagle dogs, 9.04 kg was the average weight of the animals. After administration of 20 mg per kg intravenous dose to each dog, this one, the solution concentration was this much. The mean plasma concentration of this drug were as follows. So this table, this table you can see plasma concentration versus time profile. So these are the time in minutes they have taken, and these are the concentration. So up to 120 minutes they have taken the study. Okay, so now determine the slow absorption rate constant and empirical constant B. We can easily calculate by manual calculation t half value for beta, B also, B and A. Now you will recognize what the B and A will be. If it is a 2 compartment model, this graph will be having this kind of pattern. So this intercept will be A and this intercept will be B. So this will be alpha, this will be beta. So whatever the t half will be getting here, it will be the t half for alpha phase. Whatever the things you are getting here, this phase, it will be the t half for the beta phase. Similar kind of thing. Okay, so now we will see how we can deploy this in our reading. Okay, so this is exact. Can you see this screen?
Yes, yes.
So before going into that, I will show you from where I have taken this source. Okay, so this was the book. This is Sunil Jambekar book. It is very good actually to calculate all those things. So this was the example. From there I have seen this thing and I thought to share the same thing with you all guys, and we can deploy it also through this Excel program by using PK Solver. Here you can see manually t half beta 40 minutes. Okay, from the resulting graph not shown, then beta can be calculated. If t half is 40, beta is the rate only, 0.693 divided by t half, nothing. Okay, then beta will be calculated. Then afterwards, if you carry forward the extrapolated line, you will get the value for B, that is 64. Like this, alpha also, these are some manual calculation you have to do. Okay, so but how quickly we can do with this Excel program? So simply I will go to this add-in program of PK Solver. Since I will see the question once again. So dose average weight was 9.04 and 20. So 9, just a minute. 9.04 into 20. 180.8 assume will be the dose. Okay. So add in PK Solver. This is IV bolus for the 2 compartment analysis we are going to do. So I will select this program. Time, I will show this is my time, and concentration, I will show this is my concentration. Now R's, microgram per ml is okay. Dose, it was 180.8. and it was in mg. I have to run the program. So see, very quickly you can get the data. Here you can get the value of a, that is 41. Okay, alpha a means this one. Okay, and beta also you can get the value, and k10, k12, k21, and t half for alpha, t half for beta, c0, volume of distribution, AUC also you see 0 to t. Some deviation will be there because of the dose, because you have to give exact dose. I have just calculated roughly and I am showing how to calculate. Here, if you are deploying, if you want to show that whether it is a one compartment or two compartment, since I have applied the two compartment, you can also apply the one compartment, and based upon the AIC and SC value, you can come to know that whether, see, you note down the AIC is 40, SC is 42. Okay, and these are the value. We can roughly check the alpha A and B value with the theory of the book. So B value here, B is 64. See, B value is also 64. Okay, and A value is A is 41. Okay, here you can see A is 41, B is 64. We are getting A is 41, B is 64. Now I will apply the two compartment also. PK solver, again compartmental analysis for IV bolus, and whether it is one compartment or two compartment, I want to see. So I will again follow the same criteria. I will go to that sheet and I will apply one compartment analysis. IV bolus, one compartment, time 2 to 120, concentration this to this point, 180.8. The rest is fine. We can run this. Compartmental analysis successful. So this is one compartment. See, C0, one compartment, you will not get alpha and beta because it is not considering the two compartment. It is considering body as a whole, single central compartment, C0. Okay, this was the plasma drug concentration, initial 85 mg per ml. Microgram per ml. It is the initial drug concentration. That means if you plot the graph for one compartment, it will be like straight away, like this one. So at time 0, C0, it is how much? 85.01. And this K, at what rate it is coming down? It is 0.0234. So these are the things, and rest of the things you all know how to calculate 0 to t, 0 to infinity, and t half. This will be, they are all correlated with each other. Now see the value. It is 72, it is 73. For the two compartment, AIC value is 40 and 42. That means it is following definitely which one, and also see the R square. R square observed value you see 0.999, and for this it is 0.9822. So here R square value is also less, AIC value is more, SC value is more. That means it is following two compartment model. So these value will help you to judge which compartment model your drug is following. So with this, we are done with all the training modules and program which I have planned for you all guys, and these are the references which I have taken to complete these things. I have basically taken the Jambekar Sunil and biopharmaceutics for modeling and pharmacokinetic. Also, some of the things I have selected from TVS Subramaniam also. That is also very good book. Wherever you find pharmacokinetic with example, definitely go with that, because in the theory you will not get everything. But these are the things you will be very much required when you are doing your research work. So to disseminate entire thing. And once again, I am very much thankful to the organizers for giving me a chance to share this knowledge among you all. I hope this will be an something you can drag it out from this presentation. And if it is okay, then my purpose will be solved. And with this, now I am handing over the session over to Suchitra. Oh, I have to unshare.
Yeah. So
Okay,
nice
so
of
I have
you, sir.
completed.
Yeah,
I have completed
exactly
on
by
time.
10:30.
Yes. Maybe it is going up. No, for the participant because there is no interaction.
Yes, sir. Because
It
this is
is.
an
It
online
is.
platform.
Yeah, it is like firing the guns in a, by blindly.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Dr. Praveen Kumar from us.
Hello, Dr. Praveen.
Yeah, sir. I am a pharmacologist. Which is the best formulation for drug delivery through a brain target?
Dr. Praveen, that depend upon the conjugation. How best your drug is conjugating with the excipient. Like if it is a lipid based, if it's a polymeric based, and how best you are deploying the strategy to control the release of the drug. That means that drug, whenever it is releasing to the systemic circulation, it should not be wasted. It should be exactly at the site of action. Then
Okay.
only you will get the maximum, PD model. There are in the same thing, PD is also there. I have not discussed that thing, pharmacodynamic model, because Dr. Ajit can throw some light. He has done the PKPD modeling afterward because see, the time is not there actually. Otherwise, I can touch many modules in that program, and that is very much equivalent, not equivalent or parallel, but that is very useful with compared to this WinLonling software because it is not available everywhere. Okay, so that depend upon the type of delivery system and type of conjugation, how best you can load the drug, because drug entrapment and drug loading is still a challenge with the nanoparticulate drug delivery system. So you need to overcome with that also.
Sir, one more question. I think you were using Rivastigmine nasal drug delivery system, sir.
That is not mine work. That is
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So actually, as a ecology person, it is a cholinomimetic agent. I can we are
Mhm.
expecting some congestion, nasal congestion, decongestion. How can you
Mhm.
manage that issues during in your animal study, sir?
Yeah, that was the issue with the same drug, but now the FDA, because it was stopped earlier, now the FDA has approved also. So by limiting the dose, if you are giving, you have to optimize the dose, and that depends totally upon the dose only. You have to adjust the dose so that it will not be a it will not show any adverse reaction afterwards.
Thank you,
So
sir.
you have to be very wise while calculating the dose.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other faculty members can unmute your mic and get clarifications from sir.
So I hope everybody have used this software, PK Solver.
Of
How
course,
many
sir.
of you?
Yeah, of course. And if not, definitely we'll use after this session.
It is a free program available in the Google. If you Google, you will find out. Okay. So I just want to know whether it is useful for the participants or not, just as a feedback.
Yes, sir. You can see the access to chat actually.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Just
So there are a lot of messages.
I cannot able to open the chat box actually.
You stop sharing your presentation, sir. You can access now.
No, I have stopped already. Okay. Yes. Yes. I can see.
Yeah.
Okay. Very informative session. Thank you very much for giving information. Thank you so much, because this will make us more, motivated. Because whatever
Yeah.
the things you are getting, you must be appreciated. Then also you will have some interest. So this was something which I was knowing, and we are working on these models only, and it is very easy actually. And yeah, DD Solver is also there. No. DD Solver is separate. It is for pharmaceutics people, because here pharmaceutics people are also there. So whenever we are preparing any controlled drug delivery system, we need to check whether the drug is releasing in a pattern or not, whether it is following zero order, whether it is following first order, Higuchi, Pepath, Higginson, Crowell, Weibull model, Higginson, Crowell, and Lonsdale model. There are so many kind of models. So if you have to use DD Solver for that, and you can see which best model you are getting on the basis of AIC again. There also you will get the value for AIC and SC or SBC. So on the basis of these two things, you can select which is the best model apart from R square, because always we are preferring R square. But if you are going through some kind of this program, this is very much useful. And thank you very much. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Over to Sucharita. You are not audible.
Very
Yeah.
few, yeah. It's very nice of you, sir. Actually, only a few can deliver practical concepts actually, and
So that
we.
is the purpose. Actually, it's the training program. No,
Yes, sir.
so you
Yes, sir.
should get hands-on training. Actually, not
Yes.
hands-on training, but some kind of training.
No, definitely. This sort of short insight is very good and very useful for all the faculty members, so that they can easily catch up the things and they can
Yeah.
move forward.
I will also request all the participants who are indulge themselves in the research. You can visit my YouTube channel also, Research Tech, so that some basic information earlier I have made some videos which were very useful. How to use Grammarly software, how to use EndNote software. Okay, how to use the symbols for the compilation of this one. Equations in the like whatever the equations you have seen in the PowerPoint, I have I have prepared it on the MS PowerPoint only. I have not copied paste. So that can also be made. So all the things are there. And apart from that, how ANOVA one model, if you want to see one way ANOVA, so you can refer that channel. That channel name is Research Tech. You can find in the YouTube.
Sir, can you have the channel link ready with you so that you can post in the
Uh,
chat box if possible?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, one of my student posted, sir, actually in the chat box.
Okay, they found it.
They found it actually.
Wow,
Thank you, Tarani.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
nice. Okay, fine. Thank you.
And
Who posted this? Dharani. Thank you,
yeah,
Dharani.
because they already accessed it.
Okay, fine.
And
Okay,
if you don't mind, please send your mail ID. Some Nageshwari Patnam is asking the question, sir.
okay, mail ID. Okay. Fine.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation and
Thank you so
seeking
much.
your best wishes and the best talks in future too for St. John's College of Pharmacy actually. And I take this opportunity to present the certificate of appreciation to you from the management and the principal's side. So kindly accept it virtually, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wish the grand success of the event.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
think tomorrow is a valedictory, right?
No, sir. Today
Oh,
is the
today.
valedictory,
Sorry.
sir.
Okay.
So kindly
And
join for valedictory too, sir.
sure, I will definitely try to join because I have to rush for another meeting. So thank you so much. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me on this platform. And
Thank you, sir.
I wish all the best to all the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Hope
so
so.
much.
Our connect will continue for longer
Sure,
time.
sure,
Thank you, sir.
definitely. Okay,
Thank
okay.
you so much. Namaste, sir.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Namaste.
Bye,
Bye.
sir.
Yeah, same to you. Bye.